Alors, chers internautes, je m'appelle Jean Felicien. Je suis content, on a commencé et ça fait un peu de temps là que je ne me suis pas fait remarquer, mais je suis encore content d'être avec vous aujourd'hui à travers Big Glad TV sous notre émission Rescue Secour. I'm really happy, my friends, to be again with you through the Big Glad TV with our show Rescue. I know it has been a while that I did not appear on your screen, but again, I've been listening to a lot of your suggestions. A lot of people called me, telling me some, how do you say this? Some hints in order to improve what we're trying to do here. Remember again, we are doing this in seeking of how we can help each other as young people in our community in making sure that we count a lot of successful young people instead of the opposite. Again, some of you came to me telling me that I should be using more English, the language English, than French, based on the fact that a lot of people are bilingual, but mostly it happens that people who speak French, they also speak English, but those who speak English most of the time do not speak French. So I took all those into consideration, and I will try my best to make sure that nobody is feeling left behind. All right. So the last time, again, we were talking about the personal identity. We used a lot of examples. We went even in the Bible and read about the example of the lost son who got all the goods from his father and disappeared and went to use them in meaningless activities and came to lose everything and start to suffer, to be really in a poor situation up to a point where he had to share his meal with pigs and animals in the farms. You see, and at the end he spoke to himself in saying that I am a really rich man, his son, and at my father's house, people they eat at up to the point where they can't eat anymore. They have everything, and there's no reason I should be suffering here. So I'll take a step and go back to my father's house, hopefully that he will forgive me, and the Lord also will forgive me. He took that step and went back to his father, and his father was so happy to receive him back. He made even a party in celebrating the coming back of his son. One of the things that made that young man to gain back his glory, it was because he knew his identity. He knew who he was. And being poor at the level of sharing the meal with the pork wasn't really part of who he was. And he knew that. So he said, you know what? I'm going to go back to who I am. And he did, and he gained back his glory, being a rich man, his son. So it's really important. Now, what does a personal identity mean? You have to know who you are, because part of understanding who you are will reveal to you the purpose of what you're supposed to do. You see, a lot of people, they don't like being called pig. It's not the name of a pig that really concern them in that matter. It's really the characteristic of a pig. When you think of a pig, it's a really dirty animal. It eats everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. So really people don't like that, because when you see somebody, oh, look at this pig, it's literally you're saying, look at this dirty, disorganized, a man with not sanity, and that's what most people understand when they're being referred to as a pig. Different from referring someone as a lion. When you call somebody a lion, there is a little bit of, pride that comes with that, because we understand the characteristic of a lion. We know, how the lion is able to impose itself, the leadership that comes with it, the terror that it creates wherever where it finds itself, all the other animals around it has to be, afraid because it's a lion. That's the identity of a lion. Different from the pig, different from all others animal that might exist out there. So it's really important to know yourself, to know your characteristic, to know your identity, in order to make sure that all that you do every day contributes in such a way that makes you the greater version of who you are really meant to be. For instance, if you are called to be a leader, you have to know that there are certain situations that you should not find yourself into. There are certain places where you should not be finding yourself there, because you are supposed to be an example. That's what leaders are supposed to be. But now, not understanding your identity, which is to be called of becoming a leader, and leading yourself in the way that you don't really care about all those things, finding yourself anywhere, finding yourself speaking anyhow, or behaving anyhow, you might, even make it harder for you to really achieve that particular goal of leadership that was set up for you. So understanding one's identity, it's really important. Now, if you go deep more than just one's name, you will understand that people come from different cultural background. That is also part of an identity. Because if you do not understand your culture, and again by culture, it can be different from one person to another. But if you want also to understand your identity, you have also to understand your culture. There's certain way that a culture can shape you in making sure that you do not go too far. You do not go out of the way of which you're supposed to walk in, right? For instance, if you have a tradition in place that can guide you, can happen to be a way of guiding you in keeping respect for one itself or for the society in which we are living in, if you do not understand those things, you might find yourself without even an orientation. And there's not a bad thing such as the one of existing without a sense of orientation. For instance, myself, I know that my name is Jean Felicien. I'm from somewhere. I have a certain value of, related to my culture, related to my surroundings, environment, that I have to hold on to in order to making sure that I am a productive member of the society. I just don't waste the space that I'm using in my society, but I am a productive member of my society. So most of us, we do not understand that. And because we do not understand that, we are so easy to be taken by any blowing wind. Some of us, we have even stopped, I said it in the last video, we have even stopped living our own life, and now we're trying to live the life of those who we see on TV. You will see this superstar, this singer, this rapper, this, actor, and quick, without even trying to know that, understanding that you are different from that person that you're seeing on TV, you just try to copy literally everything that you see of that person. But by doing that, you run away from who yourself you're supposed to be. I've seen a lot of young people around in this city, especially in Winnipeg. You look at this young man and you said, oh my goodness, is this a copy of Lily One? Is this a copy of Drake? Is this a copy of, and the name is so long, Beyonce, Rihanna? And you don't really understand, because everything that this person is doing is typically what Beyonce or what Drake or what Lil Wayne, what T-Pain does. Now, when that person is doing those kind of, copy and paste, is that person really living his own life? That's a question that we might ask ourselves. But for me, it's hard to answer it. I would just say that this person is living, this superstar is life. And the only difference is just the name. But the way that the person is living, you understand that he's lost with his identity, and now he's trying to grasp anyhow anything that is passing in front of his eyes. But it's a confusion. And I really want people to understand that it's not time to live in confusion, because everyone in this planet has a purpose of being alive. And everyone who do not live up to fulfilling his purpose is leaving a blank in the society in which we are living. And once you leave a blank, that means, it has somehow to be done. And we are creating a lot of blanks by a lot of us running away from our personal identity, from our personal goals and purpose. And it's unfortunate. But I really hope that people will come back to their senses and try to understand their personal identity. Who are you? What are you supposed to do? Or what are you supposed to be? In which society? In which environment? For what achievement? Those are the questions that we should, all of us, be asking ourselves. Because if we happen to ask ourselves those questions, we will really quickly find ourselves creating more solutions, accommodating more achievement and more greatness than creating problems in the society in which we are living. Encore, je viens pour juste vous sensibiliser sur l'importance de savoir son identité personnelle. Il est très important, il est primordial de connaître qui est-ce que nous sommes. Pourquoi ou pour quelles raisons est-ce que nous étions mis ici sur la Terre? Parce qu'en répondant à ces questions-là, on se retrouvera en train de créer beaucoup plus d'opportunités, beaucoup plus de solutions à la place des problèmes. Parce que à chaque personne qui vit sans toutefois accomplir son objectif ou sa raison d'être, il laisse des vides. Et le plus de vides que nous avons dans le monde, le plus que ça devient de plus en plus compliqué à résoudre certains problèmes dans nos sociétés. Mais je viens pour sensibiliser. Parce que quand je regarde la plupart des jeunes dans nos communautés, c'est comme s'ils ont arrêté réellement de vivre qui est-ce qu'ils sont ou qui est-ce qu'ils devraient être et commencer à vivre les vies des stars qui défilent devant leurs écrans, que ce soit leur téléphone ou télévision. Tu vas voir une personne et tu te demandes est-ce que ça, c'est une duplication de Lil Wayne ou une duplication d'un de ces stars-là qu'on voit sur la télé, ou bien c'est une personne que je connais réellement. La façon dont ça se passe, la façon dont les gens copient, vivent typiquement la vie de ces stars-là, moi je conclurai vite que vraiment ces personnes ont arrêté de vivre leur propre vie et maintenant vivre la vie des stars. Et ça, c'est une confusion. Et c'est ce que nous essayons de réduire. Parce que le plus de confusion que nous avons dans nos sociétés, le plus que ça serait possible à résoudre les multiples problèmes que nous avons. Parce que on finira par faire exactement ce que ces gens-là font sur la télé et cela nous mettra, nous jettera, nous projectera loin, loin de la vision que nous étions supposés de vivre. Par exemple, les gens qui passent à la télé et qui chantent et qui fument et qui font toutes ces autres des choses-là que nous admirons sur la télé, il ne faut pas que nous oublions que ces gens-là sont en train de faire leur métier. Est-ce que, hors de cet environnement de travail, parce que je prends cela pour quoi c'est leur travail, est-ce que hors de ces environnements-là, est-ce que ces gens-là se conduisent toujours de cette façon? Est-ce que ces gens-là, hors de scène de leur travail, de faire des vidéos pour stimuler les gens, est-ce qu'ils fument de la manière dont nous le voyons dans leur musique? Est-ce qu'ils s'habillent en moitié nus comme nous le voyons le faire dans leur musique? Tout ça, ce sont des questions que nous devons nous poser. Et la réponse, ça serait non. Parce que tu verras, quand ces stars-là fréquentent des magasins ou d'autres places pour vaquer à leurs activités quotidiennes, tu ne vas pas le voir parler comme il parle dans la musique. Tu ne vas pas le voir s'habiller comme il s'habille dans la musique. Alors, mais nous qui aurions été exposés à ces vidéos, on commence à s'habiller et à parler et à faire littéralement ce qui a été fait dans une vidéo de 5 minutes, comme quoi notre façon de vivre tout le long de notre vie. Et ça, ce sont des confusions. Et pour une personne qui reconnaît et qui comprend bien son identité personnelle, il est très difficile qu'il se retrouve dans une telle confusion. Alors, pour les jeunes de Winnipeg, surtout dans la ville de Winnipeg, parce que je semble que il est très nécessaire et d'une grande urgence que la jeunesse puisse comprendre que il est celui qui porte le destin de ce monde, parce que il est celui qui doit prendre le relève de tout ce que nous voyons, que ce soit que ce qui se passe déjà bien ou ce qui doit être amélioré. C'est une responsabilité qui repose beaucoup plus à la jeunesse parce que c'est elle qui sera à la place de prendre des décisions pour l'avenir. Donc, il est d'une grande urgence que nous puissions comprendre l'utilité de bien comprendre notre identité et vivre pour l'accomplissement de nos rêves et nos objectifs. Again, I'm really happy with you guys listening to me, but do not forget the focus and the purpose of this. The purpose is to share with each other about how to make the society in which we are living in a greater environment, a place where people becomes more productive, a place where people becomes more aware of choice to make in order to make sure that we are building a safe space for every one of us. So again, there's more videos to come, but I will be glad if you stay connected. Now, it's not going to take the same amount of time that it took from the last time that we made a video. We're going to try now to be more present in making sure that the videos are following each other's in a short period of time. And we hope really to listen again to your feedbacks, and we're really open to that. And I will let you know that for sure I really love and admire all of you. And thank you for your support. Alors là, je vous remercie beaucoup et on va s'assurer que la prochaine vidéo va suivre et ça ne va pas prendre aussi la même période, donc ça va pas prendre longtemps d'apparaître comme ça l'a fait la différence entre la première vidéo et celle que nous sommes en train de faire maintenant. Donc restez toujours connectés. Nous vous remercions pour votre support et nous prions que vraiment on va ensemble travailler pour rendre cet espace, surtout dans la ville de Winnipeg et dans la communauté, dans les communautés dans lesquelles nous vivons, nous allons essayer de rendre ces communautés et ces espaces des espaces qui sont sécures et sains et saufs pour l'épanouissement de tout et chacun de nous. Encore, merci beaucoup pour votre support. C'est moi, Jean Felicien Secour, Mankunku, à travers la chaîne YouTube Big Glad TV avec notre émission Rescue ou encore Secours. Merci beaucoup. Que Dieu vous bénisse.